Update 1.1.4 has changed everything about Destiny 2. I know most of us are focusing on the Crucible, but it really has changed PvE for the better. Everything is more powerful. So in this video, we're going to do an obligatory top 5. We're going to go over what I consider my top 5 favorite energy weapons. Now, if you know me from Destiny 1 and of course Destiny 2, I am a hoarder. I've been keeping every single energy weapon I have and just deleting duplicates. So safe to say, I went through probably every legendary in the game. We're not going to talk about exotics, and we're going to exclude some things, okay? Because I'm including the fun factor in this video. And I'm also going to exclude weapons that I already have been using with regards to energy weapons. So I'm going to say that these are all new energy weapons, or at least new to me, that I'm using them and really enjoying them over stuff that I used in the past. Hence why you're not going to see any auto rifles, and you're also not going to see the Manananan SR4. That goes without speaking. The SR4 Manananan is by far my favorite weapon in the game when it comes to energy weapons, so we're not going to include it. We're mainly going to talk about things that I really have never used before or now want to use, because safe to say, guys, look, we were all in a rut using the same probably 5 to 10 weapons for all PvE activities. Now we got a bunch of new stuff we can use because most things are viable. Now, of course, let me know in the comment section what energy weapons you like to use, and you're going to see a common theme. Most of the energy weapons I like revolve around a number of perks: kill clip, Dragonfly, and of course Rampage. So coming in at number 5 is going to be the IMSET HC4. So this is an energy hand cannon, and it's got a lightweight frame, so you do move faster. Now, you're seeing in these clips here Dragonfly proccing over and over. If you really want to feel the effects of Dragonfly, or actually just see it, throw on Solar, okay? I noticed when I used either Arc or Void, you don't really see the explosion that much. When you throw on Solar, it reminds us of the good old days of having Firefly within Destiny 1. Now, since it's a lightweight frame, it does have an impact of 80. Some of the other comparable hand cannons in the energy slot do about 80 to 84. I like this thing because, one, it's got lightweight, a lightweight frame that is. You've got high caliber rounds, and if you go with the Sure Shot HCS, you can maximize your range with this thing. However, I gotta give an honorable mention to Nature of the Beast, because I kind of think that the IMSET is kind of tied with this thing. This is the Nature of the Beast. You get this from Lord Shaxx from the Crucible, and this thing literally has no recoil on it. Similar perks, it's got Dragonfly, doesn't have high caliber rounds, but you have Dragonfly, you've got accurized rounds, and it's a precision frame. But the key thing with this hand cannon is that it literally has, or it feels like it has no recoil whatsoever. Stability is just off the chart with this thing. And I forgot to mention, it's worth noting that all hand cannons in update 1.1.4, they all got a buff of 15%. So regardless of whatever hand cannon it is, you got a buff of 15%. Next up, you're seeing number 4. This is the Inaugural Address, the Raid Pulse Rifle with Kill Clip and Outlaw. Now, this is an adaptive frame pulse rifle. First off, all pulse rifles across the board in PvE got a buff of 16%. Also, it's worth noting that the adaptive frame pulse rifles got a buff of 10% for their base damage. Also, their fire rate went up from 360 to 390. So in PvE, this thing just shreds, especially when you get Kill Clip to proc and you've got Outlaw for that really fast reload. Now in PvP, I wasn't going to really talk about it too much, but I might as well with this thing because everyone seems to be using it in PvP. But right now for PvP, I'm using the Manananan nonstop, or I'm going with one of the hand cannons, or I really like the Trials pulse rifle, the rapid firing Darkest Before. Next up, coming in at number 3, is the last Perdition energy pulse rifle. And don't mind the inverted spire strike showing up over and over. For some reason, before the update, it was the Taken Blight strike every other strike. Now it's the inverted spire, and all I did was complain that the inverted spire never came up. Alright, last Perdition. This is another adaptive frame pulse rifle, except that it's got Rampage on it, one of my favorite perks, where kills with this weapon are going to temporarily grant increased damage, and it stacks up to 3 times. Well, they buffed Rampage a little bit. They extended it from 3 seconds to 3.5 seconds. Now the damage multiplier went from 1.33 at 3 stacks to 1.65. So this thing's awesome. Adaptive frame, Rampage, you could go with Alloy magazine or flared magwell, and I like the SPO57 front sight, and I just love the reload on the thing. The thing reloads pretty fast. So obviously I'm wearing a Phidian aspect here, but I knew prior to the update this is probably going to be one of my favorite energy pulse rifles. So that's number 3, the last Perdition. Coming in at number 2 is the Tone Patrol. Now, this is another scout rifle that I knew I was going to like when the update hit, because it's a precision frame scout rifle. You guys know me, I love scout rifles, and it has Dragonfly. I forgot to mention earlier when I showed you the hand cannons, Dragonfly, the perk itself, got a plus 30% damage to combatants. But scout rifles across the board got a buff of 15% in terms of damage. The high impact ones got a buff of around 8%. But this thing's awesome. Precision frame, so the recoil pattern is going to be more vertical. It's got Dragonfly. Love Dragonfly now. But this one's got high caliber rounds. So you're going to stagger those targets. You can go with flared magwell, but you take a hit on the range, but you get a faster reload. I like high caliber rounds. And as for the sight, I go for the middle one, which is the SPO-57. So if you get your hands on the scout rifle, definitely give it a go in PvE. It's a lot of fun. Now, coming in at number 1, I'm probably going to get a lot of help for this one, but it's the Infinite Paths 8. That's the Curse of Osiris pulse rifle you get from foraging with Brother Vance. Now, you guys actually tipped me off on this one, saying, dude, you need to try this pulse rifle. And it shreds in PvE, and it's got Dragonfly. I don't know what it is, guys. This one, just for me, is the one I had the most fun with while testing out all these different weapons. This one's got a lightweight frame, so besides the overall buff to pulse rifles of 16%, you're also getting a little bit of a precision multiplier too, of around 6.7%, almost 7%. So combine all of those things with the plus 30% damage from Firefly when it actually procs, lightweight frame getting a little bit of a buff in the precision multiplier, the overall buff to pulse rifles in general. This thing is awesome. Definitely give it a try in PvE. The thing just shreds. It's got a decent reload speed. It fires 450 rounds per minute. You got 33 in the mag. You can make it into a masterwork, of course. I haven't done that just yet. And down the middle column, you've got alloy magazine, accurized rounds, or drop mag. I go with accurized rounds just because I want to maximize my range. If you go with drop mag, you got to really bump up that reload speed, but the reload speed is decent on this thing as is, and of course, a fading aspect makes everything better. And in the first section, you've got arrowhead break, corkscrew rifling, and you've got full bore. Full bore is going to give you max range, but I tend to go with corkscrew rifling because I want to get a little bit of stability and still have some pretty good range. So that's going to do it for my top 5, guys. Now remember, I gave the disclaimer before, I am factoring in fun with these weapons. So they're good weapons, they're fun to use, whether you're doing strikes, regular PvE stuff. I have not been able to raid just yet. I can't, hopefully sometime next week I'll be able to stream the raid sometime and test a bunch of these out within the raid because I'm really curious to see, I plan on using a sniper on Callus or maybe even a linear fusion rifle. There's a lot of different options than just using the same old thing. Nameless Midnight, Uriel's Gift, Sins of the Past, I don't know. I'm really having a good time with this update and I can't wait until we get the next DLC. Let me know in the comment section a couple of things. 1, what are your favorite energy weapons? 2, you want me to do a new top 5 kinetic? Because there's a bunch of new kinetics that I'm using, not my usual. I haven't touched Nameless Midnight since the update hit, which is very telling because that used to be one of my favorite scout rifles in the game. That's it, guys. Leave me a hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end, and do me a favor, drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.